G'day!
G'day.
I don't know what they say in Australia for the evening.
Oh, probably still g'day, yeah.
So g'day. Right. Welcome to Coffee Morning.
Thank
My
you.
name's Adam Deval, the mental health warrior, and I'm joined by the brilliant warrior herself, Aunty Shazza, the team whisperer, also another warrior. And shortly, we're going to be joined by my beautiful partner, Kerry, who is also a warrior. But before we get started, I want to talk about the ice bath challenge, what I attempted the other day. I didn't do the 10 minutes because I started hyperventilating after a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And rather than stay in and possibly die in shock, I decided to get out. But at the end of the day, I still attempted it.
Yeah. I don't think I could do it. I can have a cold shower and I've swum in cold lakes and things, but I don't know if I could sit in a bath full of ice. I don't think I'm brave enough. So well done, mate.
Well, it weren't just cold water, but it had 3 bags of ice cubes in it.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I don't know.
But to the viewers, the Warrior's doing it again.
Yeah,
I just don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe next year. But
yeah.
But or maybe I'll do it when the weather starts warming up a little bit.
Yeah. Good idea. Yeah.
But I will crack the 10 minutes. I will.
Good on you. Good on you.
So, even though I got it wrong last week, because I thought it was Mental Health Awareness Week this week, but no, it was last week.
Oh, well, we were still posting things.
We was. So, all I've got to say, Sharon, is how have you been?
Yeah, very well.
Like mentally.
Yeah, look, I have my ups and downs like everybody else. I have had a long history of anxiety and depression. I was raised by some young people who were very dysfunctional in their relationship, and there was alcoholism and abuse, and there was a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of those sort of formative years from 1 to 7 is when you start forming your beliefs about yourself. And so I grew up thinking I wasn't really worthy, I wasn't really loved, and I took that into my adulthood. And after I had my 2 kids, I fell in an absolute heap. I ended up in a mental hospital for a month. I had electric shock treatment. I was really bad. I was almost sort of delusional or psychotic. I thought they were going to take my baby and lock me up forever. And I kept, I wouldn't let anyone have my baby. She was with me. The toddler was at home with the grandparents and a nanny, but I would not let, like the nurses would say, well, we'll look after your baby while you go and have a shower. But I was so, messed up.
Reluctant.
I would put her in the pram and take her to the shower, and they were all shaking their heads that I wouldn't let go of control. But I was really not well. And it took me a long time to recover. And then, as you know, Adam, so I was getting quite well, and I was doing a lot of personal development and a lot of coaching studies. And then I went through separation and divorce about 5 years ago. And that was really, really hard, really sad, really messy. I was drinking heavily. I had a real problem with addiction. I was self-sabotaging. I was a mess. So once again, I hit rock bottom. I was quite suicidal at times, just as I had been 20 years ago. But I didn't end up in hospital. I came close, but I had a lot of good friends around me and my kids. I had a lot of support, but I also was starting to get into this personal development, into coaching, learning how to, how to change my beliefs, how to change my emotions, everything from the Tony Robbins rah-rah sort of stuff to some very spiritual stuff. I've got the chakras behind me. today. I've just done a course called The Spiral, which was just amazing. It's a totally different course, and it's very much about healing 22 emotions.
See, obviously this COVID has been going on for what, 16 months, 17 months now. Now, me and Kerry have actually just booked ourselves onto a course in understanding mental health when it comes to children.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, because obviously we want to grow as much as we can and get as high as we can. But nobody's talking about mental health when it comes to children.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, on Monday just gone, it was National Children Day.
Yeah.
Now, so obviously, with you being a teacher, what are the kids like psychologically, emotionally during all of this over there?
Oh, it's certainly affected them, because anything that affects their parents affects them. And then they're hearing things on the news, and they're hearing adult conversations. And it's not that I'm suggesting that they should never know these things, but it's like, how much information do we expose them to? And then if we're going to expose them to the information, then how do we help them to deal with that? Like, how do we explain things? And we really need to let them ask questions. Hi, Kerry.
Morning.
Squeeze in. Yeah, so I mean, kids just absorb our stress. So we need to teach them the skills to deal with stress, So,
see, we are going through a bit of a rough patch with Lucas at the minute.
Yeah.
Because the last couple of days...
It's not funny.
I know it's not funny. You can't laugh at it, but it's hard not to. But he's been protesting in school.
Oh, right.
Because of things he's hearing about COVID this, COVID that. And he's starting to talk about mental health a lot more because obviously I was on the call with a meeting with the NHS just on Thursday, just gone, which was absolutely, it went well. It went well. Because obviously I was getting the paediatrician done for child negligence because she was on about removing his autism. But that never happened. So he's now being assessed for ADHD, ODD, and anxiety.
Yeah.
But Kerry's unsure about allowing this anxiety assessment to go ahead.
Yeah. Do you think he has anxiety?
I don't think he does.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I've got anxiety myself. And obviously, I know from doing my own mental health training, just not as qualified as Adam yet. But I know obviously how to spot it, and I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah.
So personally, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because the labels can be helpful, as you know, for support, but they can also be just a little bit damaging. And I've got kids that I teach who will say to me, I'll say, "Oh, Penny, could you stop interrupting the lesson?" And she'll say, "I've got ADHD, like, she's right into using that label as her defense. And I think, gosh, that's
personally,
I
don't like the labels.
No.
I don't.
No, because it's going back to I keep mentioning it, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Because we was all brought up on that, and we fell in love with the characters, not the labels.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I didn't even know about all the labels attached to the characters until well into adulthood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
I think, we need to be aware of the autism spectrum. And I had a really good interview with some American people talking about autism recently. And I'll send you the link or post it on the page.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good interview. And 4 out of the 5 of us actually had a diagnosis of autism. And some of them, these were all adults, and some of them were diagnosed in their late adulthood. And then the host suggested that I'm probably on the spectrum, and I said, "Oh well, if I am, I am. I don't feel the need to be tested, and I don't feel the need to have a label, but I'm certainly someone who thinks outside the box, and that's fine. That's a good thing."
Yeah. See, I'm dealing with the clinical psychologist at the minute.
Yeah.
Because obviously I was being assessed for autism myself. Because obviously apparently to Kerry I was showing all the signs. But it turned out I've got severe trauma from what happened to me growing up. Now, obviously, that's just a label, but I've got a problem with authority, left, right, and centre. And I'm dealing with this issue at the minute where if something negative is happening to Luke and Tegan, I'm on it. I'm on it straight away, and I'm attacking that person. So it's like keeping the kids into a bubble, and not letting them make a mistake. But that's something I have to deal with myself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that at the moment, obviously we sat down and we talked about it.
Yeah.
Like, how it was sort of like, I felt like I was being pushed out as a parent. So obviously we spoke about that. You know, before it got to the argument stage, we spoke about it calmly. You know, as you're supposed to as an adult.
Yeah.
You know? And we've come to a compromise, haven't we? That we're going to move forward, try a new technique. So
that's good. Yeah, well done. And I think too, you know, when parents do constantly step in for their kids, the kids don't build their own resilience. That's one thing that can occur. And also, you know, they become part of the drama cycle where the parents get involved all the time. Then the kids see that, and then everybody is creating drama, when it could be really helpful to teach them when to let go, you know, of the argument or the situation, so that everybody is calmer.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, my argument. Oh, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, my argument last night was, well, not really an argument. The comment was last night, you know, kids need that space to learn who they are as people, to develop their personalities, to develop their own identities, and we have to give them that space. Yeah, Princess.
I have a cherry.
Go and get one upstairs.
Two upstairs in the drawer.
Speak of the kids, there she is.
Yeah, one's off, but the other's at school. So.
Yeah, because Tegan should be on a school trip today, but then the school has said that if anything goes wrong, so like if they start coughing or showing any signs of COVID, the parents have to be able to go and get them, and we're just not able to go and get her. So unfortunately, she's having to miss the trip. Stupid COVID restrictions.
Yeah,
it's not really fair, but what can you do?
Oh well. She'll survive. Resilience.
Yeah, well, she's already done some singing with me today, so that's happy days.
Good. That's good. She's a good little singer. I remember.
Have you heard her?
Yeah.
Oh, she's getting even better now.
Oh, she's even better now. Yeah. Like the Demi Lovato, because obviously she's got mental health as well. The Skyscraper song, she smashes it every time.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's been doing her singing lessons every week, and she's doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants to learn to play guitar, so we've got her a nice guitar for her birthday.
Oh,
she knows about it, because she asked for a pink one, so I've purposely got her a pink one.
Good. What can you do?
So obviously that's another thing that she'll pick up on at some point, learn how to play the guitar. And then maybe one day she'll join you on here, musical warrior.
I need to step up my work, because this is going to cost me a fortune.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. There's a great ad on Australian TV at the moment where the little girl and her dad, like first she sees a skateboard and next thing she and dad are skateboarding. Then she sees roller skates and next thing they're both on roller skates. And it just goes on and on, all these new things that they try together. And dad's just doing what you just did, just like, oh, what next, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it's advertising, but it's very funny because we've all been there. If we've had kids, we've all bought the latest craze and the latest fad, and
Yeah, well, it's just trying to keep up with the kids these days because obviously there's Tegan wants to do all this singing. Then Lucas wants to learn GCSE level maths right now.
Wow.
He's only 9, so yeah, because he did Pythagoras.
I saw that.
The other day, and I'm like, the ongoing issue I've got with the school, well, more of a dispute, is they have to stick to the school curriculum. But I'm like, doing my research, I'm like, yeah, fair enough, you have to stick to school curriculum, but the national curriculum can be amended. Yeah. So I used that in an email, and he's gonna learn advanced maths.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because he's a human calculator, is Lucas, isn't he?
Well, now we know what stage he's at.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So you've got the washing on the line, and it's raining. So I'm going to have to shoot
off. Run, girl, run.
I don't know where this rain come from, though.
Just out of nowhere, eh?
It did.
Yeah. We've had a lot of rain lately. We've had too much. The ground's all wet. Everything's a bit damp, because it's coming into winter here. So
I was going to go out and cut the grass as well.
Well, you're not now. Unless it stops quickly. Oh, well.
It doesn't look like it's going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the clouds are starting to move, so yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it goes back to, because obviously we mentioned about autism. Autism and anxiety still go hand in hand. And that's probably why he's being assessed for anxiety as well.
Yeah. And that's what that panel was about from America. It was about, a lot of it was about the anxiety that comes with autism sometimes, and more so than kids who aren't on the spectrum. So we talked a lot. So I'll post it into this group. Yeah.
Please, yes. See, for the viewers, this live will be on Facebook.
Yeah,
it will end up at some point. Yeah, I just can't post it.
Yeah. And the the whole stigma of mental health, we've talked about that a lot, Adam, and
we have.
I think the important thing is to just keep having these conversations and keep letting people tell their stories. I mean, I saw your surprise when I said, I spent a month in a mental hospital and had electric shock therapy. And like, I've only just started telling people that. And I think, well, people see me as a confident, calm adult, but I haven't always been that way. And I've had to do so much work to get well. Even in the last 5 years, I have had to work so hard to stay well, I've given up alcohol, I'm exercising, I'm practicing meditation. I've just had to change so much in my life to stay well. And, I'm journaling, gratitudes, affirmations, just so many things. I've got a little model, as you know, called EMOJI.
Yes.
So I've been teaching that to people, kids, teenagers, adults, and it's just the letters of the word emoji. So it's an acronym, and it just says exercise, energy, which comes from what we eat and drink. So staying off sugar, reducing carbohydrates. Yeah, I know. What are you having?
I'm having is this a latte? Yeah, it's a latte. This morning I had an Americano. So
yeah. So it's exercise, and I teach all the importance of exercise, how it raises all the happy chemicals and reduces the angry chemicals. It's especially good for young boys,
Are you a bit wet?
Just a little bit. It's hailstoning out there. It hurt.
Oh dear.
I went out without my hood up, and a hailstone got me right in the middle of the head. I'm like, ah.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, they hurt.
So, Kerry, I was just explaining about my emoji model. So it's exercise, E for exercise, energy, and emotions. And what I do with teenagers and kids is I show them this fishbowl, and we talk about pushing the emotions down. It's a bit hard to see on camera, but
no, we can see it.
Yeah.
You push them down, and they're just going to keep coming up to the surface until we do something about them. So that's where we need to talk to someone about our emotions.
Yeah, definitely.
And then what happens is eventually, and this did happen to the previous tennis ball, it broke because it kind of exploded with emotions, you know. So, yeah. So I show that to the kids and they like that. You know, that's what our emotions are. There's something that we often push down and then they build up and then they explode. You know, you go off at your parent or your teacher or your sibling when you least expect it, you know, because you've been pushing things down. So we need to express our emotions all the time and use all the language. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling disappointed.
Yeah. See, Kerry made a valid point yesterday or last night it was, where obviously with Lucas having these outbursts, she said that instead of him lashing out, let's do something about it. Because we understand that autistic children or autistic people themselves, they struggle to show emotions. So instead of actually doing it verbally and visually, get like cards. So like a picture of a teacher and then the reason why.
Yeah.
Why they're doing their edit, that child's edit.
Yeah.
So then, so obviously a picture, then the problem, but then a solution of what we can do.
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. Yeah. Any kind of strategy that works for that child or that person is great. And it just reduces that explosion, you know.
Yeah.
So
with Lucas, he struggles to communicate what he's feeling. So maybe with these little cards, he could say that he's feeling upset by his teacher or by another child in the class or by the lesson or whatever, something like that. And obviously then the teacher would know, right, okay, he's feeling this is the problem. Well, this is the solution we can put in place. All right, Lucas, let's go and have a run around outside for 10 minutes so you can let that anger out. And that's what they do with him.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that's the solutions they already have in place, but they don't have the cards in place. So we've got a meeting on Friday, is it?
Friday, yeah.
Friday morning with school to maybe put that suggestion ahead and see what school make of it.
See, Lucas doesn't care about any weather. Like, just the other day, he went out in just a t-shirt and pants, and it was raining.
And then, I told him to come inside, and lucky when I did, because it started thundering and lightning 10 minutes later.
Yeah,
I really don't want to be doing that.
But before the thunder actually came, he was saying to Kerry, he's like, it's just water.
Yeah, that's great.
He's no sense of danger, Lucas. But when we went for a walk yesterday, and it's the first time we've actually attempted that far of a walk, and he did stop at the roads, and obviously come and hold my hand before he crossed. So he is slowly picking up on road danger.
Yeah,
good. I mean, obviously he's 9 years old and only just now learning dangers of the road.
Yeah.
You know, that's obviously because of his autism.
That's right.
He's otherwise he's no sense of danger.
No.
Yeah.
Bad day, he won't think twice.
No.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it?
It is.
It's very hard. Parents of kids on the spectrum, you know, it's really hard to help them to manage their emotions and their reactions.
Yeah.
So
so obviously the emotion one that you've got, obviously, you know, we could maybe use that with Lucas.
Yeah. I just bought it's a plastic fish tank so it won't get broken, and then I put a tennis ball in it and I just coloured the water with a bit of food colouring, and we push it down. You can fill it up higher, which works a bit better.
Yeah. Would you mind if we did that at home?
Not at all. Please do.
Well, I actually forgot to tell you that there's this pupil welfare officer who works in the school, and she's got this anxiety. I'll actually get a picture of it because and the video. Hang on a minute.
Is it like a thermometer?
Or
I've seen one that's like a thermometer. You know, how high is your anxiety?
Did she send you a picture of it?
She sent me a picture and the video.
That's good.
See, obviously, that's the picture. Hang on.
Yep.
That's the picture.
Yep.
And then this is the video of it working. It changes colours.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that great? Yeah.
Yeah. And it actually helps to reduce anxiety.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, see, I did mention to her, does it turn blue? Because that's a trigger for Lucas, and she went, no, it doesn't. But he loves it, and it does help him calm down.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get him something like that for the house then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get him a few.
We've got a couple of things now to be thinking about.
That's good.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, with the
same with the viewers.
Yeah. Well, with the EMOJI model, so what were we? Exercise, energy, and emotions, and then mindfulness and meditation. So learning meditation for kids, an app or just listening to music and just breathing. Doesn't have to be anything complicated. Yeah. But also mindfulness, like using the 5 senses. So when you do go for the walk, you say to them, oh, tell me something you can see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. And then they start looking. So they're looking outside, their phones or their mind, for things that just help them appreciate the world, And then O is for essential oils. So I've had a lot of success with incense and essential oils with kids. I've just got like here just a roll on that's like a lovely frankincense, and if I put that on every time I meditate, as soon as I smell that, I'm in that lovely calm
you're in the zone.
Yeah, and I've got some incense burning too, the smoke's just wafting. And it just helps anchor things. So when you're doing something like meditation or mindfulness, if you use those anchors, it's just a reminder, or you might put them on at bedtime for them or something like that. A lot of people like oils, lavender or whatever for the kids at bedtime.
Lavender's ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like your lavender baths, don't you?
Yeah. See, obviously, I was stressed last night.
Yeah.
So I went for a lavender bath.
Perfect. Yep. That's
exactly. It put me straight to sleep, though.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we've got a tea. We've got a big jar of tea that we buy at the health food shop, and the ladies make it up with the genuine herbs and flowers, and it's got lemon balm and chamomile and valerian, and we put it in a jar and we put 2 scoops in the pot and make up the tea every night. And Frank is just sleeping so much better since we started buying that.
Yeah. I definitely recommend lavender when it comes to insomnia.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. And the other O is a big one. It's called own your shizzle, or own your what, own your shizzle. So it's like teaching kids to be, responsible. So that say if they've hurt their sibling or whatever, instead of them saying, I didn't, it wasn't my fault, she did this, we just speak calmly and say, well, you did hit her, so would you like to make an apology? I did see you hit her, so, and she is upset, so, could we do something to own this, and that's what a lot of adults need to do. There's a lot of adults with very below the line thinking, as you know from your mental health studies, they're blaming other people and they're making excuses. They're not taking responsibility. They have addictions. We want to raise the bar and get people above the line so that they're not self-sabotaging and not blaming others. And then suddenly, they're owning their shizzle and, oh, okay, what can I do about my addiction? I've spent 3 years with a very good coach here to beat drinking, and it's been a long, hard road. It wasn't easy, but I'm alcohol free, which is amazing. And it's a totally different way of living, So and that was where I was just self-sabotaging every night, so so I had to face it. I had to own it. And then I was fighting with my ex, we were saying awful things to each other, and we had to own our stuff and stop that drama cycle.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we need to teach kids. And just quickly, if I can just finish the model, J is for journaling. So we journal gratitudes, we journal, unhappy feelings. You can burn them, you can tear them up, get them out of the mind through the pen onto the paper. And that goes a long way towards healing things. And even if people have had trauma or they're really upset with someone, to write a letter to that person, even though you won't send it. You know, you can get those feelings out, because a lot of the trauma, the reactions and the emotions around the trauma are the feelings of injustice that haven't been expressed. So sometimes we need to express them, you know, and if that means a letter to someone who's, you're never going to show it to them necessarily, but you're getting it out of your head, you know. I've written letters to all sorts of people. So I've written to my dad, even though he's gone, to say, I wish you'd been a better father. I wish you hadn't have abused us. I wish you hadn't have been a drinker, you know. And I just wanted you to love us, you know, and be a really good dad, you know. And I know you had problems, but and just to express that has been really powerful. So yeah.
Don't they do something similar to that in prisons, where they get people who have committed these horrible crimes to write a letter to the victims?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah,
I've heard of it being used.
Yeah, it's a very powerful, and that comes back to owning your shizzle and expressing it. You know, it's I can see you thinking about that one, Adam. You're not sure if you want to write those letters.
I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking about it. I've never been this speechless.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing that, and I'm just wondering how you're feeling.
Maybe that is something that might help with your trauma.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's up to you.
Yeah, I have got a book upstairs about overcoming trauma, but I've read it multiple times, and I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. There are a lot of trauma specialists out there, but I have definitely found that addressing my trauma in the way that I would have, like, what would I want to say to my dad? You know, okay, he's gone, but what would I write to him? What would I say to him if he were alive? And putting it on paper and then burning it has just been so helpful. So, something worth
because obviously it gets
anyway.
those bent up feelings out of you.
Yeah.
You know, so you can start healing.
Exactly. Some people worry that it might trigger you, but the thing is, you're already triggered. You're already feeling the emotions of the trauma. So I think, without being a trauma specialist, I do find that, writing letters can be very, very helpful. We get kids to do it in school, much like the prisoners. Oh. So if the child is really rude to the relief teacher, so I'm a relief teacher, I often get letters from children that their teacher will ask them to write. Oh, I hear that you were quite disrespectful to Mrs. Chemello. Would you like to write her an apology? And they'll come to me with their apologies, and I give them a hug say,
that's really nice.
It's lovely. And I say, thank you. I think you were just in a bit of a mood today, and I know that next time you come in, we'll be good mates, you know, and give them a hug and, you know, reward that sort of effort. Even if they've been told to do it, they've done it. And they've made that effort.
They've made the effort to do it,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really good. You know what? That's maybe something they should bring into the British school system.
Yeah.
But I don't think they ever will. No.
No.
The British education system is screwed.
It is.
Is it?
It just is.
Yeah.
It needs somebody to go in and basically drag it kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? You know, we want kids to be happy, healthy, supported, loved, you know.
And to have and obviously to have good mindsets.
Yeah.
And to not bully others. But even the bullying, you know, with all the things around bullying at the minute, you know, it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
It's still an ongoing issue.
It is.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you only have to look at, say, Jessie in Little Mix. You know, I mean, she's a body-looking girl. She's got a beautiful voice. You know, and she went from nothing to winning the X Factor. You know, and she got bullied that much.
Yeah.
You know, her mental health took a turn for the worse, and she had to walk away from what she loved doing.
Contemplating suicide, right?
You know.
That's terrible.
And obviously that's the level of bullying.
Yeah.
The level of what impact bullying can have on somebody's mental health.
Yeah.
She's had to walk away from it.
Yeah, the bullies are actually damaged people, you know.
Of course they are.
They can't just look at her and say, oh, isn't she wonderful? Isn't that fantastic how well she's singing? They've got to go, oh, look how, you know, I don't know I've not seen her, but
because of her weight.
Look, I was gonna guess, like, look how fat she is, or look how ugly she is, or look how whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they've got to find fault because it's a mirror to them, you know. And it's a power thing. Like, they're putting someone else down to feel more powerful in themselves. Oh, well, I'm not that fat, or I'm not that whatever, you know. And to get in with their mates, you know, to say, oh yeah, we don't like her, you know. It's just, I don't know. It's really hard to understand, isn't it? But they're damaged. They're damaged people.
Yep.
And look, in the emoji model, the last one is I. And that is all the inner health, inner peace, inner work, doing this work, like learning these models that, you know, above the line and below the line thinking, or growth mindset and fixed mindset, you know, and just doing that inner work to find the inner calm and the inner peace. And it's all stuff that we've heard of and we know, but we don't always practice it, you know. We're very quick to sit in front of Netflix or YouTube and eat rubbish and not exercise, and next thing we think, why are we in a heap, you know? Why are we feeling miserable? So, and of course we can feel miserable when there's big things going on in our lives, as you guys know, you know, like when something bad is happening. The trick with that is whether we react or respond. So are we reacting to something and getting involved in the drama cycle, or can we respond calmly with a growth mindset, with above the line thinking, you know?
Yeah, and it's about putting those models in place now while the kids are growing up, so that hopefully the next generation don't have the same problems that our generations have had.
Yeah, that's right.
Kids aren't having kids. They're not having them.
I used to live next door to a lady who was quite verbally abusive to her small child. Really, really nasty, loud language, calling her all sorts of things. And this was a tiny little kid, 18 months, and the words that were coming out of this lady's mouth were dreadful. And I didn't know what to do, whether to call somebody. And then the woman 2 doors up rang me and she said, can you hear this? And I said, yeah, we've got to do something. We need to call Children's Services. And we felt awful, but we had tried. We'd invited her over. We'd had her for coffee. I even offered, because it usually started to happen in the afternoon, and she used to stick the child in the bath and leave her there. And if she got out, she would abuse her. So I offered to have her in the bath with my kids. How about you throw her over the fence? I can see that, you know, it's a bit of a stressful time of day. Pop her over the fence and I'll bath her with my 2 and you can have a little relax, you know. But she wouldn't accept the help. And we tried having her in our little local play group, but she felt a bit out of place with some of the other ladies who were a bit more, you know, upper crust. And so I felt like we'd done everything we could. I tried to talk to her about it. Yeah. And she wouldn't, you know, she wouldn't engage. So we did call Children's Services and they turned up and she abused them. And then to their credit, her husband came home and they won them over. And next thing they were sitting on the back deck talking and laughing. And she had to do parenting courses and stress management courses. And I finally was able to have a conversation with her, and she sort of, you know, accused me of, you know, getting her into trouble and all this sort of thing. And I said, you know what, Therese, I'm sorry, but I'm glad I did, because you needed help and we have to break the cycle. And that's what you were saying, Kerry, you know. Yeah. I said, I came from an abusive home, you know, to a certain extent. But we have to break the cycle. We can't continue that pattern of behaviour. You know, we have to look
because otherwise that child will have grown up and been exactly like the mum. Yeah. Abusive to their children, which would again cycle around. So obviously to break the cycle, you had to do it. You had to be cruel to be kind.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And that's where someone has to own their shizzle and say, look, I'm really not coping here, and I'm drinking and smoking and, you know, whatever. And I need to find a way to be a better role model for my kids and to help teach them how to be less stressed by learning how to be less stressed. So, and there are ways out there. A lot of people don't know how to improve their mental health, but all those things that I've suggested in the EMOJI model, and I'll put it up in the group.
Yeah, definitely.
There's so many books. You only have to go to a secondhand bookstore and go to the health section, and, you know, there's all the books from all the ages, starting with, you know, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, which was written about 30 years ago, you know, and there's everything.
Or even online, if you don't feel like you want to go out. Even online, they're available.
Exactly. There's free programs, as you know. There's the mental health warriors, you know.
Yep.
So
we always have to link it back to the mental health warriors.
Oh, we have to.
Yeah. And all those models and things that you've been showing on the page, they've been so interesting, you know, the graphics. And people should be printing them out and sticking them up on the fridge or the family notice board and discussing them with their kids, you know.
Exactly.
So,
or even if they live on their own, writing it on a little post-it note and sticking it on your mirror in the morning, or sticking it maybe in the bathroom or something like that. Somewhere where you're going to see it every single day. Little positive notes to yourself can be so good to you. I mean, we've got a mental health wall in our bedroom, haven't we? Where as soon as we wake up in the morning, it's the first thing we see.
That's great.
So obviously we know that things can be positive, even though we're going through a stressful time with Lucas, trying to help Lucas with his problems, and obviously making sure we're being good parents and good partners and everything like that. You know, we have a positive mindset going forward, starting the day. Start the day positive, the rest of the day will follow.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they call it, like Tony Robbins and those sorts of people call it like the morning ritual.
Yes.
So I try not to scroll through this jolly thing. I try not to look at it, which is hard because we are addicted.
I go on the Mental Health Warriors page every morning and look at all the positive stuff on it.
That's good.
That's part of my morning ritual.
Yeah. I try to get out and go for a walk, and I try to get a meditation in, and I do some stretches, affirmations, gratitudes, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And same towards bedtime, you know, instead of just watching TV and then boom, straight to bed, I'll try to do a few affirmations and gratitudes about the day, and then listen to some meditation music and go off to sleep that way, you know. So, and just calming down.
Yeah, I've started cross stitching, and instead of actually watching the telly, I'll cross stitch, and I'm listening to the television, getting the gist of what's going on in the program, but really I'm focusing on the cross stitching, and that's enough to calm me down, ready for bed at nights. Until this one starts saying, "Kerry." This one distracts me.
No, not all the time, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I mean,
the other thing that I've just done, this thing called the spiral. So that's my flag of all the chakras. And a lot of people don't know much about the chakras, and I didn't know much about it, but we've got all the different energy centers in our bodies. And then in this thing called the spiral, we link those areas of the body to different emotions. So, you know, which emotions might be linked to the heart. I think I'd have to look up my manual because I'm still learning, but, you know, it might be pride and the other two. I've gone blank. But yeah, which emotions are attached to the different energy centers. And then we do a thing called a clearing. So we work out with muscle testing, which you may have seen by I can never say the word, kinesiologists. I have trouble with that.
It'll come to you.
Yeah. And so we muscle test, you know, what emotions came up for you and when in your life. Like maybe at 2, you might have felt anger. Maybe at 4, you might have felt fury. At 6, you might have felt grief. And then we clear those emotions for people by using pressure points here. And sometimes there's a little bit of story about what came up at those ages. And then we just set an intention to clear those emotions, to clear that chakra. It's simple, but it's very, very powerful. I've really enjoyed learning.
Meditating with chakra. Obviously, you can use crystals, and the crystals obviously draw the negative energy out of you and replace the negative energy with positive energy. And obviously, you've got to keep these crystals charged, and they charge by sitting on your bed on like a windowsill
in the sun.
And not the moonlight actually.
Oh, the moon, that's right.
Moonlight actually charges them.
I did a video the other day with 3 people that specialise in crystals as well.
Yeah,
so
I'm still learning about chakra myself.
Yeah. There's so much to learn, isn't there? You know, there's just so much that we don't know. Exactly. And when you hear how much of our thinking is in the subconscious, you know, like I think it's like 90 or 85% of our thoughts are actually subconscious. So where do they all come from, you know, and what triggers them? And we need to be aware of those things. And then
your subconscious, you know, your subconscious is obviously very powerful. You know, I mean, the other night, going completely off topic, the other night I woke Adam up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, Adam, the bush that's in the middle of the middle of our front garden needs to go, because I'd have a dream that I'm coming out the front door in my wedding dress on the wedding day, and it snagged my dress, and I'm like, it needs to go.
I don't like being woken up. I don't like being woken up.
No, I bet.
No, and it was completely random. That was completely random because I hadn't even thought about the wedding day that day. But apparently, my subconscious has.
I don't like being woken up.
No. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh my God.
Should have started singing now.
Please don't. Please don't.
Oh no. Tegan was obsessed with that song at one point. I hated it.
Now I've looked up level 4, openness, which is the heart, and it's reason. Like, when did you first become aware of reason? You know, understanding why things happen. Acceptance and love. Pride is at another level. So so acceptance and love for the heart. So so I'm still going through my manual. I'm still I've passed, but I'm still practicing and, you know, remembering things, and can't wait to put some people through that spiral and see how they go. Yeah.
I do all that by watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, good.
Put her through it. Put her through the spiral.
YouTube videos.
No problem.
That's how I've been doing it. Yeah. Whenever I do self-care, it's, you know, chakra videos, teaching myself. And I find it very relaxing, just doing breathing exercises while I'm sat there completely on my own, in silence, with YouTube, and I'm fine.
Yeah. So, see, like this morning, I was on school run. I rang her and she was stressed. So as soon as I got home, I'm like, Kerry, self-care. She's like, no. I'm like, Kerry, self-care. Go.
Yeah, good.
So she ended up going.
That's good. Yeah.
10, 15 minutes to myself.
Great how you look after each other. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Is there any wonder why we're being interviewed later on today?
That's good. Yeah.
I'm actually nervous about that.
So am I.
We're going to be asked.
So am I.
Who's it with? Who are you interviewing with?
Somebody is going to be interviewing us called Chris Cortopassi.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so.
Yeah.
Cortopassi.
Yeah. And it's about your relationship.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be in 2.5 hours.
Sounds good. I'll look forward to watching it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yeah.
That's good. Well, next year, Frank and I are traveling the country with a caravan, and we have a group called Crusaders Against Plastic, as you know.
I do.
And so we teach people how to reduce plastic waste in their lives, but we're actually now morphing that. We're going to play with it a bit, and we're going to make it probably Crusaders for Sustainability, so that, you know, we might grow our own herbs on the trip somehow. We might make our own sprouts. We might you know, find out who is selling fresh fruit and vegetables around the country and put a database together, you know. So, and we'll teach people how to make things like their own, you know, wrap bread or whatever, so that they're not buying it in plastic packaging. And then we want to add to that sustainability in their relationships. So we might have to interview you. So,
Romy.
both of you, because we'll be doing it too. We'll be talking
What's he
about.
got us into now?
Yeah. Oh, you probably got a year yet before
right.
we are doing it. But what we want to teach people is how do you sustain that relationship? So sustainability in your life, in your living, and then sustainability in your relationship. How do you create that? You know,
yeah,
by
linking with the sustainability as well. If there's anything out and about that you can go and harvest from, like in the woods or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like berries.
Yeah, that's
something
right.
like that.
See, I've actually joined a group on Facebook. It's about an allotment where you can grow your own stuff. And it crossed my mind, I'm thinking of hiring my own allotments and just grow things.
That's a great idea.
So if I want self-care, I'm like, Carrie, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I go to the allotment.
Yeah. And you could even share it with other people too. You know, you could have like a community garden. I've always wanted to set up one of those. So
I've got a cat behind me every time. Come on.
That's funny. Oh, look at him.
Every time.
Yeah.
Is it a boy?
Yeah.
Gingers are normally boys. I had a ginger.
Yeah, it's very rare to find a ginger girl.
Yeah. And
he's definitely mine.
Yeah,
tortoise
he's a daddy's boy.
Tortoise shells normally girls. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very rare that we find a ginger girl. I've never come across a ginger girl anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Molting, aren't you, lad?
But anyway.
That's another method of self-care. Stroking a cat for 10 minutes.
10 minutes a day.
It's very good for you. Yeah.
Yep. And obviously you've got 9 of them, so I've got 9 of them.
9 cats?
Yeah, we've got 9 of them, so I've got 90 minutes of self-care rolling around the house.
Crazy cat lady.
I am.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And having so many cats and reading and my cross-stitching is the reason why I can, 50% of the time I stay calm.
Yeah, that's great.
She wants a 10th.
I would like a white cat because I think that's the only cat that I'm missing, a pure white one.
Oh,
I'm putting out there, it's not happening.
I think it will happen at some point.
It's not.
Oh,
I think it will.
But anyway, all I've got to say is thanks for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
That's great. We had a good chat about mental health, the stigma, some ways out of mental health issues. That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So obviously this needs sharing on Facebook. All I've got to say is, please tune in a couple of hours, 2.5 hours. About relationship.
Yeah, I'll try. Well, it might be past my bedtime then, but I'll definitely watch the replay.
What time is it in Australia right now?
It's already 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, but I need to get to bed early tonight because poor old Frank's not been well. He's had a bit of gallbladder, so we were up a bit last night. So, yeah.
How are you still going?
What's that?
How are you still going?
I'll drop off soon. Yeah.
All right.
We'll say good night to you then. Good night,
you.
Australia.
Good night. Good night, UK.
Oh, we've still got the whole day, yeah?
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah, you're still going. All right. Have a good day. Enjoy your interview.
And you have a good sleep.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye.